You know, stereotypes are really fun to bust up. And of course, the stereotype of a video or computer gamer is, you know, maybe a geeky teenager, probably a guy. Well, our next guest really busts that stereotype all over the place. Meet Lian Amaris. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So I know you've written a play, and it's called the Video Game Monologues. But, you know, I saw your bio, and I saw the picture, and I'm like, I don't know, your boyfriend must be a gamer or something, but you're a pathetic gamer, right?
Well, I wouldn't say I'm a pathetic gamer. I would say I'm an enthusiastic gamer.
I understand. I'm teasing myself. My husband's going to throw things at me. He's a gamer, too. And I didn't understand it at first, but I now understand it's a passionate community.
It absolutely is. And I would say that most of the inspiration from the piece really came from looking at gamers and their lives, their experiences. But of course, it came from first my own enthusiasm, my own passion for games. I've been studying them for a long time. I did a lot of research on games and gamers. Myself, I started when I was very, very young.
13.
Playing games. Well, yeah, about 13 was when I got my first version. Well, I played Sonic the Hedgehog 2, which was a pretty influential game. It was me and my best friend, and we would play all the time. And she had the fun mom. So
So your mom didn't like you?
No, my mother wouldn't let me play video games.
So you were in the closet with Hedgehog 3.
Right. Yes. Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I really wanted to take a look at gaming culture, but really spin it. And so the piece itself is 11 different stories, all told from very different perspectives, with a focus on equal representation in a lot of ways. So we have one female actor and one male actor, and they play all of the characters in the show.
So it is kind of, I mean, obviously the title is a take on the vagina monologue.
Absolutely, absolutely it is. And so there's a lot of real research that came from forums, game forums, and interviews, and also personal experiences and that kind of thing that all came together. But it absolutely came from the vagina monologue.
So how much of Lian is on the stage?
That's a very good question.
That's not all your research, but I imagine there's some first-person stuff going on here.
Absolutely. As with any good storytelling, you have to have a lot of really compelling details, and sometimes those compelling details come from real life.
Yeah, I mean, art is the revelation of private truth.
Exactly.
In a public place.
So that's been an interesting journey, seeing bits and pieces of my own stories coming in through these monologues about games that in some cases I haven't even played, or I've watched other people play, but I've done a lot of research on. Mostly I've played all of them. Right.
So now, do you agree with my premise that you're not the gamer stereotype? Or is there really a typical gamer? Or are there some 87-year-old ladies out there, you know, playing Grand Theft Auto 3? I mean,
I don't know. Well, 5 just came out, so that would be 5 just came out, so that would be the one that they'd be playing. I think that mobile gaming has completely transformed what the traditional gamer is like. I actually work at a mobile gaming company myself, and I'm seeing how our audiences are just changing, and that gamer stereotype has completely changed just within the last several years. When you go on BART, you go on the train or something, you see people of all ages, all demographics who are on their phones playing games, and they wouldn't normally call themselves a gamer.
Yeah, I think they just must be more talented than me. I'm still trying to figure out the new iOS operating system for the iPhone. You know, I'm one of those people who hates it, by the way. But anyway, you know, all kidding aside, I remember when my husband and I met 15 years ago, he was a gamer, and he loved this stuff, and I used to kind of poo-poo it until the night that the first Iraq war started. And I'm on TV trying to get CNN, and he's playing, I forget the name of it, but it was a massive multiplayer game. And he was playing with someone, this game where he had to mine things from a planet and transport them, you know, one of those type of games. And he was playing with someone in Kuwait. And on the instant message, it said, "We're just hearing a bunch of planes go over. We think the war started." And he knew about it because he was playing a game with someone on planet Zod half an hour before CNN. And that was an aha moment for me. I realized this community is a community.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a community, and it's people who are connecting through a technology that we often feel, or we stereotype as being alienating or something that removes us from other people. But in fact, especially in the massively multiplayer online games, those are communities built of people all over the world.
So what do you say to people who say that gaming can be or is alienating and sometimes leading to violence? I mean, there's been all kinds of stuff about people who are, playing Grand Theft Auto 5 or whatever, or games that there's huge amount of violence and even sexism. I mean, women don't come off really well in games.
Yeah, I agree with that. That was a major goal of the work too, is to get beyond the babes and bombs stereotypes, which is really what I've been calling it. To look at what are the other ways that we connect through games. I mean, if you have, again, with mobile gaming, we have a lot of that. I play words with friends with my mother, or draw something with my mother. Those are games that she's on the other side of the country, and I can play with her.
So it's bonding.
That's bonding. That's connecting people. So while we do have these kind of outlier experiences, there are other ways that games can really connect people. The violence one is a big one, but I don't see what's being presented in games as much different than what's being presented in movies or TV shows at this point. So it's really... So
you're not an advocate for saying games should be less violent?
Absolutely
not. Or
not.
less sexist, or less whatever.
Well, I think that games are, especially video games, are a cultural barometer. I mean, they're a symptom. They're not the cause. So that's that for me is something that I don't think that it should be games.
I know that there has been homophobia in games, but I also know that there's some games that have gay characters.
Yeah. That's absolutely true. I mean, I was just having a conversation about Mass Effect 3, where the main character, you actually have a choice, and you have a choice you meet another character who mentions having had a husband, and throughout the progression, you have an opportunity to essentially flirt with him, and then as the male character to flirt with him, and then even have sex with him in the end.
Yeah, well, boy, I tell you, maybe I should get into gaming. But you raise an interesting point. My husband has played numerous games as different characters, and I remember, I forget the game, but there was one game where he had to get other people to help him, and so he was always a guy, and no one was helping him. And I remember one day watching him, all of a sudden he signed on as a new user and he started playing as a girl, and boy, everybody was helping him.
Sure.
Are you always a girl when you play?
No, I'm definitely not. I think in some cases there are benefits even to being non-human character.
Yeah.
You can.
Yeah. In our last few moments, talk to us about what's next. This is your first play, the Video Game Monologues. Is there going to be Video Games Monologue 2 and 3? And you're going to tour with it? I know it just had a successful run in San Francisco.
Sure, yeah. Definitely we want to tour. I think that this is the kind of show that has, that can really bridge demographic boundaries. So I would really like to tour it, and then add in more voices, more stories, more monologues from other people.
We've just got about 6 seconds left. What's your favorite game?
Super Mario Sunshine.
Is that a new one? I should know this.
No, it's very old.
Very old. See, I'm showing myself to be a total geek. All right. Thank you very much. We've been speaking with Lian Amaris, creator of the Video Game Monologues. I'm David Perry. Not a gamer, but I'll try. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week on 10%.